So here's the deal. I'll whip up a little potion to make you human for 3 days. Got that? 3 days. Before the sun sets on the 3rd day, you and Princey must share a kiss. And not just any kiss. The kiss of true love. If you do, you will remain human permanently. But if you don't, you'll turn back into a mermaid. And you belong to me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Movie Buffer, and I am Crystal Hickerson, your host. Alright, tonight we're going to be reviewing The Little Mermaid, the 2023 live-action movie. Now, the first thing I want to know is, what was all the fuss about? This movie is remarkable. Oh my god. Alright. The Little Mermaid is a 2023 American musical romantic fantasy film directed by Rob Marshall, and no, he is not related to the iconic family of Garry Marshall. I checked. This is from a screenplay written by David Magee. It is a live-action adaptation of Disney's 1989 animated film of the same name. It is loosely based on the 1837 fairy tale of the same title by Hans Christian Andersen. The film stars singer Halle Bailey, not Halle Berry, I know, I get that mixed up too, as Ariel, the Little Mermaid, alongside Javier Bardem as King Triton, Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric, David Diggs as Sebastian, Awkwafina as Scuttle, Jacob Tremblay as Flounder, Noma Dumezweni as Eric's mother, Queen Selina, and my absolute favorite, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. The Little Mermaid follows a mermaid princess, Ariel, who is fascinated with the human world and makes a deal with a treacherous sea witch, Ursula, to trade her voice for human legs to impress Prince Eric, whom she saved from a shipwreck before times runs out. What Ariel is going through is called the Florence Nightingale effect, also known as Nightingale syndrome. This is a phenomenon where a caregiver develops romantic or sexual feelings for their patient. The effect can also explain why caregivers show empathy and compassion for their patients, even if there aren't any romantic or sexual overtones. The effect is named after Florence Nightingale, a statistician who pioneered the modern nursing movement. The Little Mermaid received mixed reviews from critics who praised the performances of the cast and the musical sequences, but criticized the visual effects and character designs. Really? Did you see the movie? Anyway, the film has grossed over $569 million worldwide against a total production budget of $250 million, becoming the 9th highest grossing film of 2023. So I think they made a profit, you know? Yeah, okay. Now, there was some racial controversy of The Little Mermaid, of course. The Little Mermaid has faced some controversy over the casting of black actress Halle Bailey as Ariel. Some have criticized the casting as racist, and the film has bombed in China and South Korea. As we know, or maybe you don't, the Chinese and Koreans have a long historical issue with colorism and tend to reject anything that portrays beauty in darker skin. According to Misha Lee's article Colorism in Chinese Beauty Standards, posted on the University of Notre Dame Fresh Writing site, the link is below if you want to read the entire article, which is actually really good. She says, this beauty standard has been referenced in several ancient Chinese proverbs, one of the most popular being, a white face covers 100 ugly things. Actually, I put that in reverse, but anyway, we're not going there. She continues, in other words, having white skin can cover up any imperfections in your appearance. I commonly heard this proverb growing up, Misha says, and it caused me to become more sensitive about my naturally darker skin. Only later did I accept my skin tone as a trait that I shouldn't try to change. However, many Chinese women feel pressured to find ways to make their skin whiter in order to be deemed beautiful. And this is not, of course, just for Chinese people and people in the Asian community. It's also for people in the African community, in the Black American community, in the Indian community, in really anywhere white people have colonized and made those indigenous people of their particular country feel like crap and feel as if they're nothing and nobody and beneath everything and everybody. So colorism is one of the many products of colonialism and white supremacy. So there it is. All right. The film's director, Rob Marshall, said he didn't think it was a big deal to cast a woman of color. He and other makers have addressed the controversy several times to the media and to fans, and they're basically done. It's like, it's not a big deal, she's black, so what? What's the big whoop? Outside of the predictable white supremacist backlash, what was all the fuss about? I loved the first animated movie. It was beautiful. It was true Disney, and the songs were incredible. My favorite character in the movie was Ursula, and she has never been duplicated in any other format correctly, although they come very close in this movie. I felt that in this movie, Melissa McCarthy does an excellent job. I was quite pleased with her performance. I mean, I was blown away. I sat down to watch this movie on TV, and I was like, okay, Little Mermaid, let's see how much this sucks. But when I sat down and saw it, it was amazing. And oh my God, McCarthy did this character amazing. Ursula is my favorite character, and I was waiting for her to screw it up, but she didn't. She really brought this character to life, and I was just blown away. Blown away. In this movie, they didn't make her an ex-lover, and then actually in the original story by Hans Christian Andersen, Ursula was just a witch in the community. She was not even really connected to King Triton or the family at all. It was hinted in the animated movie that she had lived in the palace or was a part of that world, and then she was, banished away for her crimes. But they didn't say what the connection was. But in this movie, they made Ursula his sister. I love the sheer diversity of the characters in this movie. And I loved all of the new songs. I think I love this movie as much as the first. I really enjoyed the fact that they adapted the why Eric and Ariel fell in love. It's because they had so much in common. They were both collector of things. They connected on so many different levels, which makes sense for him to fall in love with her. I really love the song that Eric sung in the movie, and I was so thrilled that they gave him more of a spotlight and gave him more of a backstory. I mean, Eric was just kind of a one-dimensional character. In this movie, they gave him a little bit more depth, which I appreciated. There were obvious differences in the animated and live-action movie, but actually not that much. Not really at all. Scuttles was a female in this movie, but she was just as annoying as the original male character. Sebastian's accent was a bit different, a different kind of island dialect, but I thought that David Diggs' portrayal was on point. And yes, they toned down the anger of King Triton when he was yelling at Ariel, before disciplining her, which I have to say was warranted. He was a bit much before. I mean, ew. And Ariel's sisters were just gorgeous. Each and every one of them. So again, what was all the fuss about? This was an excellent movie. Oh my god. I even teared up at Halle's voice when she sung the iconic songs. Halle's voice is incredible. And she actually looks like a fish. I'm sorry. It's the wideness of her eyes. She kind of resembles a fish. No shade. She's gorgeous, but she is believable as the mermaid. I'm just saying. Well, guys, I can go on and on. But what do you think? Do you like the live version of The Little Mermaid? Or will you stick with the animated Disney version and say, that's it, that's the way it is, I don't care? Let me know down in the comments. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share. It really helps me out. And as always, peace, 2 fingers.